Amigos de la Gema, seguimos aquí en la final de la temporada 4 de ECS desde el Hotel Hard Rock en Cancún. Ahora nos acompaña alguien que no planeábamos entrevistar, pero tenemos que aprovechar estas oportunidades para conocer más de la industria, más de los creadores de contenido. Nos acompaña Gabriel de One Up Studios. Gabriel, how are you?
I'm well. It's been an amazing event. It's kind of one of the most gorgeous we've been to. So it's kind of hard to want to pick up a camera because I just want to be outside the entire time. But it's good.
How do you guys feel about the event taking here in Cancun? It's a nice change of scenery, right?
Oh, absolutely. ECS is really good at taking us to places that tournaments are sometimes not at. Like I know last time it was London. Time before that was Anaheim. To a lot of people, it's like, oh, sweet, it's California. For me, it's like, oh, that's a 20-minute drive. But Cancun is like something completely different. The choice to not have an audience, because there's no audience. The choice, like after our matches, we could literally go to the beach and just hang out, and everything's already paid for. It's pretty amazing.
Have you seen the competition so far? There's been some rough matches.
Yeah, so a lot of people are getting like 16-4 to 16-2. LG, I think, just got like 16-6 against Mouse and then 16-2 against Mouse. I don't really know why. I mean, there's LG made 2 big tournaments in a row, so I'm not really sure. Maybe it's like because it's the last tournament of the year. Maybe it's because we're in like the sort of paradise. But yeah, there's been some really one-sided matches.
Yeah. Hopefully, the competition will get stronger. As we're talking right now, Liquid's facing, remind me, Cloud9. So we'll see how that goes. Now, onto the main topic for this interview, content creation. You guys are putting some amazing work out there you're working for One Up Studios and One Up Studios working with Team Liquid.
Right.
Can you tell us, for those out there who might be interested in content creation, how did your story come about? How did you start in this content creation side of the industry?
Okay, yeah, we'll try to wrap it up because we'll keep it quick because those stories can go on for a while. For esports specific, I've done film my whole life. I've done my dad's really shitty camera, just messing around. Nothing too serious. In high school, I took a video production course for 4 years. But after that, I just really wanted to do esports, and content creation esports really wasn't where it was going at the time. So I was throwing a lot of tournaments. I was doing a lot of things at the Cyber Lounge in Chino Hills. And so when I finally joined a team, which was my first team was Winter Fox, which was a League of Legends team. They actually picked up a CSGO team down the line. No one was doing videos for them. And at the time, content creation was starting to pick back up. Curse was doing some stuff on Random Gaming, and I was like, I want to do something for them. And so I filmed their relegation tournament. I'm like, this can be a cool piece of content. But then they got relegated. I'm like, this content's not going to be seen by anybody. And so from there on, I was just working with Winter Fox, building more and more content. We started a series called Pride, which followed our CSGO team. And from that, Luminosity saw that and wanted me to come work with Luminosity. So I did some really fun work with Luminosity. They won the major. It was this crazy thing. That's where I met Zeus. That's why him and I are so close. From then on, One Up saw that, and they were making this movie. They were making Breaking Point, right? And they're like, we really need someone to edit Breaking Point. And I was like, well, I filmed with you for a week earlier this year. They contacted me, and I was like, yes, I will do it. It was hard to convincing, but I was like, I'll do it. And so from there on, it's just been a constant process to make the best work we can do, because Breaking Point, if you start your job making Breaking Point, could you imagine what you have to accomplish the rest of it?
You put the bar for yourself so freaking high.
Right, it was it's definitely a whole studio project, but when that's the first thing that has your name on it, you're just like, well, how do I get back to that level of,
So speaking of Breaking Point, that's been a reference point for everyone in the sports industry, in the content creation part. Obviously, the storylines with Dardock and the whole of Team Liquid were very interesting to watch unfold. What was your experience like working with them?
So it's interesting. I wasn't around for the filming of Breaking Point. I just filmed 1 week earlier in that split, so the rest of it was kind of news to me. It was the 1 year I stepped back from watching League of Legends content because I was focusing on CSGO. There's a lot to learn there. So I wasn't watching much League. And so when I came in and I was watching all this footage, I was like, man, this is this is really raw. This is something I'm still on the fence on if it should be seen or not. Like I think it was a great piece of content. I think it was amazing. I think it was eye-opening for a lot of players. Nate Shot, I don't know if you know who Nate Shot. He watched it a couple weeks ago on his vlog, and it was like, this is like an amazing piece. You know, he complimented us. It was really nice. Going from then, so I didn't really work with the players, but editing it and watching all their genuine reactions, and then really choosing. The hardest part was you have 8 months of footage, right? And you need to tell this story, but you also need to give enough context. And I think if there's something that we could do a little bit better, if we were to do, if we could go back and do it again, was give a bit more context of each situation, because the piece of arguments that we choose are very you can gather the context, but that's an argument that's been going on for the past 20 minutes where a lot of people looked at the bad guy in each section. So we just try to find the best way to tell the story and to kind of get across each person's point. Some people will take it in the way. Some people won't read deeper into it. So they'll see Dardock as the bad guy, or they'll see Loco as the bad guy, when in a sense it's just these are two very passionate people who just butt heads. And while communication could have been better for them too, ultimately I think they'll both excel on different teams.
Yeah. I think both of them have been successful in their own right. We're still hoping to get that promise we kind of got when Dardock first joined the LCS in general, of the star player, the carry player. But yeah, it was a great piece of content. We can wait for any other pieces like that, maybe from One Up Studios, maybe from Team Liquid, or the other teams joining the franchised LCS. Okay, so Gabriel, what can we? What can you share with us? What else are you working on? What can we expect from 2018?
Oh gosh, from 2018, that is a loaded statement. From what I can say is we'll still be doing our thing. Team Liquid is building an office. I think you've seen, and there's a huge section cut out for One Up Studios. So our interviews are going to get better. Just everything, the work environment, everything's going to be so awesome and streamlined. Not that it's not awesome already, but it's just, when you get that office space, it's going to feel amazing. Sitting next to CSGO, League of Legends, it's just going to be...
A much tighter operation will streamline everything for you guys on the production side of content. How do you see the teams that stayed in the LCS with the franchising and the organizations that are joining you in terms of content creation? How do you guys think you fare among them?
Sure.
Let's say the power rankings of content creation.
No, that's fun, because we obviously think about that a lot. Not so much we definitely compare ourselves to others who are okay, what are we doing with currently our 4-man team versus what TSM's doing with their 2, what C9's doing with their 3. We pay attention because in a sense, we like that competition. That's our LCS is oh, we see Cassidy's at this event. Okay, who's going to get their content out first? Whose content's going to go longer? Sure, we don't have the subscriber numbers that TSM has or whatnot, but we can take pride in the content that we make. So power rankings, that's going to be tough. So I know a lot of teams going in are there was a roster shuffle for media teams. I know Immortals, they didn't make it in. They have their video team. Where are they going to go? You have teams that just joined that you don't know of media teams, like Clutch. I don't know if their media team has a media team.
Optic, for example, with Hitch and all the content he's producing for Call of Duty.
So that's interesting. We thought Hitch is going to be interesting because he has vision, and it's that already has 3-4 teams in it. It has the Gears team. And it's an interesting system because COD's not all the time. When does Vision come out? Is it going to revolve around the LCS? Is it going to be mainly LCS show with COD added on? We were debating this whole entire thing, and Vision has the numbers, but will they transition to League? Because normally COD people are oh yeah, screw League. So it's interesting. And he just posted on Twitter about it's a lot to do. It's a lot to do. Vision will come out when it comes out, and so I understand he's looking for videographers right now. Esports people, Vision looking for videographers. TSM's looking for videographers. Everyone's looking for videographers. Okay, this is the time to make content is right now. So the original question, power rankings. I mean, I'm a very humble person, but it's so hard to know the amount of work we put in and not put us at the top. But we fight really hard with, honestly, Max is really good. Max and Andrew, it's a duo. really fucking good. Like really good. Legends, the quality, the way he uses his FS7, the turnaround time. Max, if you're hearing this, we know what you do. It's insane. So I'd put us and TSM pretty high up if we're just strictly choosing LCS. Sure. Us and TSM. I know the C9 Vital's a freaking god. They have Maddie now. They have Cassidy, 2 really dedicated people. Yeah. I'd put them up there as well. Callie, who does all their montage see, I pay attention. 3, I would put probably. I'm gonna forget somebody. I know it's. I mean, who really does content consistently? CLG does it, so I would put them up there. But other than that, I think people are just like shuffling to find out what's because FlyQuest had a series. It was a very introductory series. Yeah. Quality Can Go Up. Dig had a series. You know, that was Andrew and Mark, and so that was really good. But they didn't continue it. So it's just a lot of people finding the funding for it. So I would put those 3 teams at the top. Yeah. And then from there on, it's just going to be a big like mystery on who's going to do well this year. But hopefully, because it's franchising and these teams are locked in, they want to get their name out there. They want to get their brand out there. Hopefully, see some cool shit from everybody. Yeah. And to be honest, the videos that 100 Thieves is putting out is going to be tough because they're smart. They're using Nadeshot in a really smart way. Nadeshot has a huge following. The brand itself, 100 Thieves, super fucking cool. Like, just the design. It's very streetwear. It's very... That brand can live outside of esports, and so if they do it correctly, 100 Thieves can pop off.
Yeah, and not only Nadeshot. I mean, the roster they've built, even with Prolly included, Afromoo, Meteos in there, all of them big personalities, great followings. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm personally looking for what 100 Thieves puts out, and Optic with the experience Hitch has. Let's see if they are able to transition that into League of Legends.